Brought to you by 1AAuto.com, your source for quality replacement parts and the best service on the internet.
Hi, I'm Mike Green. I'm one of the owners of 1A Auto. I want to help you save time and money repairing and maintaining your vehicle. I'm going to use my 20+ years experience restoring and repairing cars and trucks like this to show you the correct way to install parts from 1AAuto.com. The right parts installed correctly. That's going to save you time and money. Thank you, and enjoy the video.
In this video, we're going to show you how to remove and replace the window regulator on this 2001 Ford Explorer. Same as any 96 to 07 Taurus. Tools you'll need are a drill, a 5/16 inch drill bit, safety wear for your eyes, 10 and 11 millimeter sockets and ratchet, bolts, lock nuts, and nuts to replace the rivets, or whatever size bolts, lock nuts, and nuts you have for the sockets, and a hammer and a punch. I'm going to kind of keep it short, and I'm going to kind of fast forward here through removing the door panel. If you want to see this in regular speed, just check out our door panel remove and replace. It's one of our other videos, but you can probably pick up enough here. That's 7 screws. And then basically pull the door panel off. So you can see I have the window right at this position here. What that does for you is it puts these rivets, which you have to drill out, it puts them right in the right level of these holes, so you can reach in there with a drill and get to them. Now usually when your window motor brakes or your regulator brakes, it's not in that position where you can reach everything. So I'm going to put it down like that for right now. So what you want to do is you want to drill out your window regulator rivets first, and there's 4 of them right here, 1, 2, 3, 4. You drill those out, and then you can lift the window up and tape it up to the right level so you can reach those other rivets. Then before we drill, we're just going to disconnect our window regulator, which is right here. Press a little tab right here. Pull it down and off. So for some of these rivets, you may need to use a punch and knock out the center of the rivet. But you can see these 4 are my window regulator rivets, and they actually have nice big centering holes, so I don't have to worry about it too much. So we can drill out, and I've got a 5/16 bit on here. Okay, and the rivets are made of aluminum, so they actually drill pretty easily. Make sure you wear the eye protection, because that aluminum does fly around a little bit. You'll drill into them, and then sometimes the edge of the rivets will just kind of come off as a ring right onto your drill bit. But then you'll want to poke them through once you get them out. Okay, now here I'm taking a hammer and a punch, and you can use this. You can use a hammer and a screwdriver or whatever. And you're just kind of punching the leftover part of the rivet through and back into the door. And you want to fish them out of the door so they don't jangle around and make a bunch of noise. And now you can lift the window up into position so you can see the rivets that hold the window to the regulator. And I'm using a little bit of painter's tape to tape it up into position. And now on these rivets, you do want to knock the center out. So I'm just using a punch and giving it a good hard rap, and that just pushes the center of the rivet back and out. Okay, and now I've got my drill, and I'll drill both those rivets out. And now actually our regulator is separate from our window. And I can remove these 2 11 millimeter bolts that hold this bottom track on. You can see this is our original regulator, new one from 1A Auto. Everything's going to be all the same. A little different. This the original regulator has the connector on the motor. This one just has a little pigtail. Same connector, it's all going to plug in. Just a little bit of a difference. Although I showed you the one from 1A Auto, there's nothing wrong with this one, so I'm just going to put the original one back in. Just going to get this last piece of rivet out here. Goes right into the door. Bolt in this track. And now you want to lift up your regulator, and you can see this little clip here. You can lift up so that goes into that slot and hangs up right there. Okay, and then you can kind of just push, and you can see I'm rotating the regulator so I can get a hole, or I'm sorry, so I can get a bolt hole lined up. Okay, so I've got this hole lined up right here. And push this bolt through. Okay, this one's kind of a tight space because it's got the motor around it. But what you might want to do is, I'm just lifting up so I can see the hole really well right here. Put the bolt in, and then rotate the regulator down, and put the bolt through. Put this. Okay, this last bolt, what you want to do is run your regulator up a little bit. So make sure you're plug your harness back in. Carefully run your regulator up a little bit, and then you can reach back in here. This last bolt in. And now tighten them up. And again, you might need to run the regulator down to get to some of the bolts from the other side. Using a 10mm wrench on the back side and a 10mm socket. It's possible your bolts might not be 10mm, but...
Okay, so I'll go through, and what I usually do is I kind of preliminarily tighten them up, so I don't tighten them up all the way the first time around, and then I go back and firm them up after all four of them are somewhat tight, if that makes sense. That way, if the regulator shifts or whatever, you can get them. So you can see that I'm just going through and tightening them up on a final run.
Tighten up these 11mm bolts here. And now after everything's tightened up, you want to run your regulator up so that you can see the holes right through here. You can see there's the track. You can move it just a little bit over, and you can see the track right through there. So you're going to want to use about an inch long bolt. Feed it up and through. Then we'll put a lock washer on. And then a nut on. And then repeat the same thing over here. A 1-inch bolt with a washer. We're going to take the tape off a little bit so I can slide the window down some. Once everything tightened up, we can test the window. Make sure it goes up and down nice and easy. Everything looks good.
And now we're going to go speed through putting the water shield and the door panel back on. If you want to see this in regular motion, just check out our other videos for the door panel, the Taurus door panel remove and install. And you'll see me fly through this. You can probably pick up enough to get it all back together anyways, since you took it apart. Yeah, that's about it. We hope this helps you out. We hope this helps you out. Brought to you by www.oneauto.com, your source for quality replacement parts and the best service on the internet. Please feel free to call us toll-free 888-844-3393. We're the company that's here for you on the internet and in person.